this is a story about something that happened back in 2015. There was an execution of a prisoner on death row, and they went to use the third in the 3-drug combo that actually carries out the death of the inmate. And they checked on the vial for that last one and found that it was the wrong vial. Governor Mary Fallon's general counsel, Steve Mullins, issued instructions stating that potassium chloride, which is the right drug, and potassium acetate, which was the drug that they had, were basically one and the same drug, before advising the Deputy Attorney General to Google it. He said then to go forth with the execution, not because they were, according to his cursory Google search, the right drug, but because he said, quote, it would look bad for the state of Oklahoma because potassium acetate had already been used in Charles Warner's execution from before.
Why don't we chop their heads off? Because that's pretty, I mean, that works, right? Why don't we chop their heads off? And why do we administer these drugs behind curtains and where no one can see? So why do we do those two things? To shade ourselves from our own ugliness, right? Because we don't want to see what we're really doing. And we want to pretend like this is some kind of a medical procedure, which it isn't. It's brutal, it's gross, it's barbaric, it's killing an unarmed human being for vengeance, right? Because we know that the death penalty doesn't deter crime. It doesn't do anything except provide vengeance that we're killing someone, right? So why don't we cut their heads off like ISIS does? Well, because we're better. Right? What we do is we put it behind curtains and then we inject drugs that, I don't know, may kill them, may not, may just mess them up really bad, may cause a lot of pain, make them maybe go unconscious for 30 minutes and not be able to breathe right. And because we're barbarians. That's what this is. This is killing people. And no, by the way, it's poor people. We're killing poor people with bad legal representation. And Barry Scheck, if he's proved anything since the O.J. Simpson trial, it's that we like to kill a lot of really poor people on shitty evidence.
Yeah, look. I'm a barbarian, and I was pro-death penalty, but I switched over, and I'm against the death penalty, not because I'm less barbaric, but because we were killing the wrong people. So we've proven that over and over again. Now, dozens of people who were on death row, we said, oops, we don't like to do that. The government does not like to admit it made a mistake. Like, look at this. They don't even want to make it admit that, oh, yeah, we used the wrong chemical to kill that last guy. He's already dead, but that would hurt my career a little bit. Nonetheless, the governments of many different states and the federal government have said, yeah, we're about to execute the wrong guy. Oops. Okay, Innocence Project is right. Unfortunately, he's innocent, right? I mean, when you see that, what kind of person says, yeah, I don't mind killing the wrong person. Let's go ahead and kill. I know that a percentage, and apparently a high percentage, much higher than we expected, are innocent, but let's kill them anyway, right? And then while we're killing them, yeah, you're using the right drug, the wrong drug, it's going to cause more pain. It's behind the curtain anyway.
So if we were definitely that we had the right guy, would you be for chopping their heads off in town square?
I mean,
no.
Why is that?
Here's the thing, though. At least what you said was perfect. It's like you can't have that discussion. You can't even have the argument or discussion about it if you are lying to yourselves and thinking this is not pretty much this. I mean, it's a different way of chopping someone's heads off.
That's what it is.
Like that's I very much agree with that. But for me, I'm a very vengeful person. And I would say, yeah, kill them. If they did it, kill them. And I know it's just trying to make me feel better. And I for the same reason of like, I don't want to kill the wrong person, so that would drive my decision more. But like, I would be lying to myself if I didn't say like, that person who killed that person in this way, we should kill them in the exact same way. And I don't care about being thought of as like the better person in this situation by rising above it.
The problem is Jimmy's made a little bit of a devastating point, right? So, I'm
Damn it, Jimmy.
Right, no, so I'm definitely a little vengeful. And so, on the personal level, like, this guy killed that woman. That's horrible, right? And I feel like I empathize with that as if it's my family member that was killed, right? And I want to get justice for those people, right? So that's my old root of like, no, yeah, I'm for the death penalty. Yeah, you killed her, and you telling me 100%? Okay, then off you go. And I'll go as far as saying I think that if we did it enough, there definitely would be deterrence. Now you're going to say, well, then you got to kill more people. Well, if you're telling me I'm 100% certain that they're the right guys, I would say yes. But the devastating point you made is it definitely makes me uncomfortable if we're chopping their heads off. But the reality is there is no difference, right?
There's no difference.
When ISIS says, all right, should we use a saw or should we use a machete? It's basically the same thing, right? And we go, should we use potassium chloride or potassium acetate? It's basically the same difference,
And
right?
the guy who they used the wrong drug on at first said out loud as he was dying, "My body's on fire."
Yes.
Like,
Jesus Christ,
you know, like,
man.
who knows? And the thing is, like, the conclusion in the things I read are like, we don't really know if he like felt that and said it, or if he knew what he was saying. I think our instinct is to be like, all right, go to sleep, and while you're sleeping, we'll kill you. So that you don't feel, you don't watch this thing falling on your head. You don't have like nerve endings firing in your severed, cranium.
So here is one more point that I would like to make when we talk about this, is that if we're going to murder murderers, why don't we rape rapists?
You know?
Jesus Christ.
But that's
I
what
never
I'm
thought of
saying.
that either.
Like, I have an instinct, and I'd be lying if I denied it, to be like, do right back to those jerks what they did.
So,
But the other reasons that you listed are the ones where it's like, there's no world in which I am 100% certain that everyone killed on death row did it. So
God damn you, Jimmy,
I
and
can't
your
give
points.
myself the satisfaction.
So here's-
Look, here's the thing, right? So if someone raped someone I love,
would you rape them?
No, hold on. I'd be so angry. I'd be so unbelievably furious. Like I could almost see, in a lawless situation, I'd do anything to them. I might kill them, etc. But I wouldn't rape them, right?
Because you're not a rapist.
Yeah.
Right? You're not a rapist, because that's
Right.
a sick. You have
You're
to be
a
sick to rape
murderer.
someone. But murdering someone, which everyone thinks is worse than rape, somehow we're all willing to do that because somehow that's glorified. That's okay. So there's a certain kind of inhumanity that we're okay with, but there's another certain kind of, and there's another reason why too, because who's going to do, if the judge goes guilty, rape them, that'd be the shortest line in the world for that job. But there is a line for murdering people in jail, right?
Well,
That's
yeah,
weird.
Right. And I think that.
And it's all
capital
about,
punishment-
it's the same thing. Let me just interrupt you for a second, Brett. It's the same reason why we don't torture people. Not because maybe it would work and it wouldn't. It's because of what it does to us. It's because when you look into the abyss looks back into you. And it's not about what we can do in dark places where there's no one looking. That's not it. We don't torture not because of ISIS, but in spite of them, but because of them. It's because of who we are. And that's what we have to show. We have to either value life or we don't value life. Either we think violence is a way to solve our problems or we don't. When the Oklahoma City bombing happened, Bill Clinton gave a speech and he said, we are going to seek the death penalty. And he didn't even realize the irony. He said, we have to seek the death penalty in this case because we have to send the message that violence is not a way to solve problems. So what? Except it is.
Yeah.
So we're giving this schizophrenic message to our culture. And so now we're embracing violence as an answer to our problems. And you see how violent our culture is now. Now we've given impunity to police, and now we've militarized our country. Whatever we do to people overseas, we're going to do it to ourselves, and we're doing it to ourselves. And so that's why you have to stop violence, and you have to at least have respect for life. That should be the basis. So we respect life. And putting someone in prison for their life is just as damaging. It is by killing them is probably merciful, right? In a sense, right? But we don't want to kill them and we don't want to chop their head off in town square because we don't want to see the fucking horrible human beings that we are who do that.
Right.
But so now we do it behind curtains and we do it with drugs, and so we don't have to think about it and we certainly don't have to see it. And people will often say to me, well, what if somebody killed your wife or somebody killed your daughter? When you want them dead? And I say, I want them dead when they get my order wrong in the fucking drive-thru. I want them dead. And you know what that means? You don't let the victim dole out the punishment because then you're going to have a real brutal society. So that's why you have an impartial, it's supposed to be an impartial, impassioned decision. That's what it's supposed to be. That's why you have a judge who's not supposed to be impassioned. And that's why you keep a safe society and we can have values. Because otherwise you're just giving in to urges of vengeance, and that creates an ugly society.
Damn it, Jimmy. You just made me even more liberal.